So hello guys, in this video I'll be explaining the 16-point agreement, which is a continuation of the 9-point agreement signed by the Naga National Council. So in the previous video we know that the Naga National Council was established in 1945 on the recommendation of the then Deputy Commissioner of Kohima, Charles Bausi. The first president was the Aliba MT and the third president was Gol Angami Zapu Fizo. He was a militant leader who was elected president of the NNC on December of 20th, 1950. Angami Fizo called for a plebiscite on the question of Naga's independence, in which he conducted a plebiscite in May 16th of 1951, where it claimed that 99% of the Nagas called for complete independence. So this led to a militant uprising and violence between the Nagas and the Indian forces. Then, as a result of this, on March of 22nd, 1956, the Naga National Council established the Nagaland Federal Government NFG headed by the Naga National Council. The Indian government deployed military forces on the region in 1956, and Fizo dissolved the NNC in May 1956 and fled to eastern Pakistan in December of 1956. As a result of violence between the Indian and the Nagas, a few moderate leaders gathered together to form the Naga People's Convention to bring a peace in Nagaland. So, as a result of this, the first Naga People's Convention was held in 1957, headed by Mr. Imgong Lipa Au. So the first meeting was held in Kohima, where it was led by the President Dr. Imgong Lipa Au and Jasoki as its president to request the Indian government for an administrative unit. As a result of this, in December of 1957, the Naga Hills Tunsang area NHTA was established from the Northeast Frontier Agency and given an administrative unit with 3 districts: Kohima, Mukukchung, and Tunsang. Following this, on the next year, the second Naga People's Convention was held in Ungma village, where they adopted a resolution reaffirming the decision of the first Naga People's Convention meeting. Following this, on the third Naga People's Convention in 1959, held at Mukukchung, the Naga People's Convention gathered together and submitted a 16-point agreement to the Indian government for the formation of a new state for the Nagas called Nagaland. So in the next slide, I'll be explaining the various provisions of the 16-point agreement that was signed between the Naga People's Convention and the Indian government. The 16-point agreement was signed between the Government of India and the Naga People's Convention in 1960, 26th of July, following the Third Naga People's Convention. This is a precursor to the Article 371A. That is, the Article 371A was extracted from this 16-point agreement signed between the Government of India and the Naga People's Convention. It is a list of 16 agreements that was signed between the NPC and the Government of India on various issues. The first is that the state shall be called as Nagaland. Second is that it shall provide for a legislative it shall provide for a ministry which will be in charge of Nagaland. That is, the Ministry of External Affairs will be the overall controller in charge, and it shall provide for the governor of Nagaland, which the president will appoint, and he will be vested with executive powers of the government of Nagaland. That is, basically he will be an executive head of the Nagaland, and the administrative secretariat will be headed by the chief secretary. Next is that the governor shall have special responsibility with respect to law and order. This is a precursor to Article 371A, subclause I and subclause B. Clause I, subclause B. So this is a provision of Article 371 which was extracted from this 16-point agreement. So the governor shall have special responsibility with law and order, and as long as law and order problem is there in Nagaland, he shall exercise his special responsibility and it will cease until normalcy returns. And also in the fourth point, it provides for council of minister, that is the legislature, that the council of minister will be headed by the chief minister, and who shall advise and assist the governor in exercise of his function. And the governor and the council of ministers shall be responsible to the Nagaland Legislative Assembly. The fifth point is that it shall provide for legislature, and next is the representation in parliament, that is 1 seat in Lok Sabha and 1 seat in the Rajya Sabha each. And next is 7th point. This 7th point was provided in Article 371A, subclause I, and clause A, subclause I, subclause A. That is the first provision, that no act of the parliament shall have any effect in Nagaland which affects the religious and social practice of the Nagas, customary law, civil and criminal justice according to Naga customary law, and transfer of land and properties to the non-Nagas, and without the consent of the Nagaland Legislative Assembly. And also the 16-point agreement provides for local self-government. So this question was asked in Nagaland NPSC Mains in 2019 for 10 marks, and this provides that it provides a local self-government in which the smallest unit will be the village council, range council, and tribal council. However, this range council was replaced with the area council. Next is the 9th point is administration of justice. This was also asked in NPSC Mains 2019, that the administration of justice is of two types. This is the regular district courts, High Court and Supreme Court on regular laws, and those matters relating to the customary law shall be held by the Naga tribunal or the customary court. The next is the administrative of Tunsang district. The governor shall have special responsibility for the Tunsang district for a period of 10 years. So for 10 years, the governor shall have the powers to appoint members to the Nagaland Legislative Assembly, and a regional council will also be formed for Tunsang district, and the governor will also nominate members to the Nagaland Legislative Assembly through the regional council. The next is that the point 11 is that regional financial assistance, that is the government of India will provide financial assistance to the state of Nagaland and grant in aid towards meeting the cost of administration. Proposal for grants in aid shall be prepared and submitted to the government of Nagaland. The next is the consolidation of forest area, that all the forest area will be consolidated within the Naga area. That is the inclusion of the forest reserve forest and contiguous area inhabited by the Nagas. And next is the consolidation of contiguous area, Naga area. So all the areas that is under Nagaland shall be consolidated into one. However, this has been under many controversy. The next is the formation of the separate Naga regiment. We already know that there is a Naga regiment in the army. So this was also provided through the 16-point agreement. And transitional period. On reaching a political agreement with the government of India, the government of India will prepare a bill for such amendment. So this led to the 16th constitutional amendment, which provided for a 13th constitution amendment, which provided for Nagaland as the 16th state. Next is that it shall provide for interim body, that is a temporary body, which shall assist and advise the governor in the administration of Nagaland, and which shall be headed by P. Shulo'au. And the 16th agreement is that the inner line that the Bengal Eastern Frontier Regulation Act 1873 shall remain in force. So with this, the 16-point agreement has been explained. So I hope you all like the video. Thank you all.